let's do some philosophy experiments. Now, I saw this. I've been watching a bit of philosophy YouTube. Just two guys. This guy, I think it was Alex O'Connor and Unsolicited Advice. Those guys, right? I wanna. You have to be careful when you're watching YouTube of philosophy, because in the first place, you have to recognize that you're consuming a medium that's supposed to be distilled through directly from, if possible, as close to the source material as possible, right? If you want to actually like be the guy. Next level is of course getting like the translated, which is everybody generally does, like a translated one, some sort of guide, preferably an older one so that it isn't like colored with recent biases or whatever, right? Or maybe some newer one if it's got a better translation, who knows? So on and so forth. I think I already did some of these. I don't want to. Let's just click one. Valid or invalid? This is like a logic question game, maybe. It's philosophyexperiments.com, by the way, if you're curious. They have a Substack advertisement. I'll allow them. 15 syllogisms. I'm sort of getting into like being unabashedly nerdy a little bit. Not being afraid to be like, you know, syllogism. What the fuck does syllogism mean? Do not pull up the Google result. I'm afraid to look. Why did I open it? Syllogism. An instance of a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn from two given or assumed propositions. Okay, it's like an all A or B, all B or C, therefore all A or C type thing. I understand. That has a term. All the more I know. Okay. Let's try and engage with this with actual thinking. I'm not gonna do a streamer thing and like breeze through it. I wanna actually like think about it a bit. We'll do a lot of non-thinking. We're playing the bazaar after this, which is thinking in a different avenue. Let's think in this avenue. Maybe it makes my gaming better. Valid or invalid? The rules of this test are simple. It's your job to determine whether an argument is valid or not. All the arguments are syllogisms, which we just learned about. Here is a standard example. All humans are mortal. All Greeks are humans. Therefore, all Greeks are mortal. An argument is valid if and only if the conclusion necessarily flows from the premises. This is reminding me of math logic as well, which I think is derived in a similar way. Thus, the argument above is valid because if all humans are mortal, and if all Greeks are human, it follows as a matter of logical necessity that all Greeks are mortal. True. It is important to stress that this chronological term has nothing to do with the truth of the premises or conclusion. It's only about working about the conclusion necessarily follows from the premises. I agree. This is really all the information you need. You will ask to assess the validity of 15 syllogism and... Okay, they're gonna... Oh, it's timed. I see. So let's think about it. This is a meme, I think. We're only interested in the validity. No tigers are monkeys. No lions are tigers. Is this a stupidity test or am I stupid? Okay. Valid. Some beautiful creatures are not particularly friendly. Some swans are not particularly friendly. Therefore, all swans... Okay, invalid. Because some swans could be friendly and thus... It's a sum question. So it's not valid. Wait, go back. I think the question was some. But I don't think it follows. There's no back button. We have to do it now. I think I fucked that one up. Let's think about it more. No dragons are cuddly. All reptiles are cuddly. Therefore, no reptiles are dragons. Yeah, because a dragon can't be a reptile because a dragon would have to then be cuddly, but it can't be. No, it's valid. The fuck? I'm too slow. I'm streaming, man. Okay. All introverts are shy. Some introverts are active, therefore some actors are shy. Valid. So some potatoes are not fruit. I would say all. Well, varieties maybe. Some oranges are not potatoes. I would say invalid, but am I evaluating it incorrectly? Yeah, because a tiger can't be a cat, because if a tiger is a cat, then it would have to be stealthy, but not tiger stealthy. Valid. I'm thinking. Fuck you. I'm being attacked by the website for being stupid. I wanted to. I thought. Usually, I've done some of these before. That I think about it carefully. I'll yap later. No, because it doesn't follow that. Okay, I understand. No people are camels, but no camels are people. Who's yours? The OG word. Oh no. I refuse to answer, man. I refuse to answer. Don't dox me on the website. I'll just pick a middle of the road. Something that you would believe. Oh, it gives you a range. Okay, well then I can 20 to 29. That's perfectly fair. I'm in that range. They give you in Australia. They hit me with a nail. I would say none. That's pretty fair way to describe me. Okay. Yeah, I fucked up the first one. I didn't realize you were rushing me. Okay, let me go through the ones I got wrong. I know I got the first one wrong because I was being rushed. Yeah, I backwards that one. That was fair. Yeah, because in my mind I was like, this doesn't go backwards. No people are camels, but doesn't mean no camels are people. Can it be a one-way thing? Does it go both ways? Ah, because it's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. Okay, I think we should do another one. I think I this one was more of an intelligence test than a philosophy test. Um, whatever, philosophical health test. Okay, carefully worded 30 statements. Do we agree or disagree? Here we go. Here we go. Something interesting. Maybe. There are no objective moral standards. Moral judgments are merely an expression of the values of particular cultures. Here's the thing. I think like you could agree and be like, no matter what the culture, there are some things that we always hold dear or hold true, like a moral standard wise. But I think you could always, a lot of the time you could probably come up with a counterexample. I can't think of a like murder equals bad as like some very, very base level moral standard, right? Just like as an example, like you morally judge murder as a bad thing, just like as a base without adding other like context on top of it. Is there a culture in which, as a general, it's not? It's true that it's not objective. You, I'm wavering. I would disagree, but I'm like, I don't know. Oh, let me think. Objective, there are no objective moral standards. I'm gonna disagree. I think there's probably some. So long as they do not harm others, individuals should be free to pursue their own ends. I would say generally that seems like something I would agree with. Yeah. People should not journey by car if they can walk, cycle, or take a train instead. I mean, if it takes you 10 minutes to get there by car and takes you an hour to get there by train, as is common in public transport land, I would say disagree. Time is important. He's always trying to take another person's life. I can think of many counterexamples. Although a fair one that would probably be, there's probably some like people in massive suffering that would be better off to, I guess, if you consider it. Anyway, depends on if you consider that taking a life or not. If I would say so, right? The right to life is so fundamental that financial considerations are irrelevant in any effort to save lives. My instinct says agree, and then the devil's advocate says, what if it's a billion, bajillion, trillion dollars? I agree, but not 100%. Let's put it that way. There's probably a circumstance in which saving one life costs an inordinate amount of financial consideration, at which point that money is being taken away from other things that are saving lives passively in somewhere else. I think that's probably an example that you could. I'm not trying to become like a streamer that maybe I should. Whatever. Fuck it. I'm just being me. I'm being me. If whatever path that takes me down, that takes me down that path. I'm playing the bazaar after this anyway, so I'm gaming. Voluntary euthanasia should remain illegal. What is? I'm trying to understand the terms. Voluntary, like if you volunteer that you. I disagree as a rule. The option should be there. I feel like. Homosexuality is wrong. Obviously, I disagree. It is quite reasonable to believe in the existence of a thing without even the possibility of evidence for its existence. Like a religion, it's like a deconstructed religion discussion. Reasonable to believe in the existence of a thing without the possibility of evidence. I would say I agree. Not necessarily because of religion, because of something you get hope. You get like, I think it's reasonable to have, like, for example, hope for something, even if you have no possibility of evidence. Because I think that's reasonable in the sense that what it allows you to do makes it reasonable. Something like this. The possession of drugs for personal use should be decriminalized. I think this is something that I would have to do research on before I make like a statement that would indicate my personal opinion. My instincts tell me, and the limited stuff that I consume through just like passive consumption of like news or whatever tells me that like decriminalizing stuff for personal use generally is good for getting people like help and treatment and whatnot. You want to try and get like the like web of crime or whatever out by not punishing the individuals who are kind of just on the outside of it or something like this. There exists an all-powerful, loving, and good God. This is my personal disagreement. I don't really care either way. The Second World War was a just war. I don't know if there's any just wars. Wars kind of, you can't really. There was so many wars in the Second World War. So many parties involved. How the fuck I can't call it just. There's only A versus B. It's so simple. Having made a choice, it's always possible that one might have chosen otherwise. I'm not 100% agree, but I lean towards agree. I would say so. It is not always right to judge individuals solely on their merits. Yeah, of course. Judgments about works of art are purely matters of taste. I would say so. Tastes widely differ. On bodily death, a person continues to exist in a non-physical form. I disagree. If you ask me this, like in earnest, I often think of like conceptually, like, you know, it's like you go into, if you die in your hardcore Minecraft world and then you go into ghost mode, you can still fly around the world, but you can't come back, or like in many movies and media and such. I like the concept of that. If you just ask me honestly, then I would just say no, right? Government should not permit the sale of health would not be tested for efficacy and safety. As a rule, I would agree. As a general rule, obviously, if you give me niche examples, who knows, right? Whatever. Here we go. There are no objective truths about matters of fact. Truth is always relative to cultures and individual. I mean, this is where you start getting really like into the weeds, right? You start trying to come into like the most simple example of a truth, right? Like, this apple is red. Is it red? Is that just relative to your individual truth? You know, is your red my red? It becomes that kind of question. No objective truth about matters of fact, you know? But then you talk about statistical measures. I think I disagree. I think there are some. No, but the problem is, even if you consider a statistical measure, it's still only true insofar as the individuals involved agree that it is true, right? That's how people disagree on fact in the first place, that they disagree that whatever's measuring it is like true in the first place, right? Like, on the base level, we all, like, if you get a meter ruler in front of people and you measure something as a meter long, everyone there is going to be like, that's a meter long, right? And then you start taking the concept of measuring things by some metric and some like implement of measurement. You take it at different scales and different concepts, and people start disagreeing on whether that was actually what they measured, whether the tool is accurate, and then you come up with disagreement. So actually, I think I would agree. But just because there are no objective truths, it doesn't mean that people don't agree on things. I'd say that's like a separate thing. Atheism is a faith like any other because it's not possible to prove the non-existence of God. I would say no, just because of the way I think about the term. But proper sanitation and medicine are generally good. I would hard pressed to disagree on that one. In certain circumstances, it may be desirable to discriminate positively in favor of a person as recompense for harms done to him/her in the past. I see. It's like a compensation. I would say, in certain circumstances, I mean, you qualify the statement, so I would have to agree. Alternative and complementary medicine is as valuable as mainstream medicine. Instinctually, I say disagree. I don't say it doesn't have its place. Some things do have their place. As valuable is a difficult sell. I would say no. Medicine is pretty valuable, man. Severe brain damage can rob a person of all consciousness and selfhood. Seems like an obvious agreement. Consciousness and selfhood, like, you didn't say some other like complicated thing. Consciousness, like, you could be unconscious for life from severe brain damage. Yeah. To allow an innocent child to suffer needlessly when one could easily prevent it is morally reprehensible. Easily prevent it, huh? On its face, easily? I'm thinking, like, if a child is like sitting down on the ground is too hot and it's suffering needlessly, and you pick it up and put it in like a chill room. That seems. I would agree, but like, I feel like you could catch people out on this one, including me. You could be like, "Oh, you agree? Well, what about?" And then you could just hit them with a different question. The environment should not be damaged unnecessarily in the pursuit of human ends. Insofar as unnecessarily is like, you know, unnecessarily, then I would say I agree. Question is what's necessary and what's not, right? Michelangelo is indisputably one of history's finest artists. I disagree, not because I disagree that he is or isn't. I think indisputably is like a really heavy word to say. What is finest? You know, that's judgment on the individual level. What you see is fine and not fine. So indisputably, I would say disputably, but probably true. Individuals have sole rights over their own bodies. As a rule, yes. As a rule, yes. Acts of genocide stand as a testament to man's ability to do great evil. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions of words here. Ability, evil, like so on and so forth. I would say I agree generally. The Holocaust is real. I'd be hard pressed to disagree on that one. Government should be allowed to increase taxes sharply to save lives in the developing world. What do you mean? This question, I'm trying to see if I understand it right. I mean, the governments can, assuming it follows a governmental process, they can do what they want, and then people can do what they want subsequently. The future is fixed. I'm a disagreeer in that sense. Okay. I'm a guy. I'm in Australia. I'm in this age range. I'm a nun. Not a religious one, if you think about it that way. The PhD has identified two tensions in your belief. Oh, I'm half the average tension quotient. So I guess that means I'm generally consistent. Which is okay. Let's read it. The PhD is designed to identify tensions or contradictions between various beliefs that you hold. Not true or false, but compatibility. Okay, I see. If there's a direct contradiction or if reasoning is required. We advise that either you give one of the beliefs up or you develop a rationally coherent way of reconciling them. I may already have them. Let's find out. Tension is an intellectual balancing act. When there's no tension, you don't need to think about balancing it. But when there's tension, you need to abandon it. Abandon the belief. Keep the balance of the beliefs, the conflicting beliefs, by some intellectual efforts. Or just give up on like thinking about it. But this is just pre-selected stuff. Okay. Lower is better. I'll take it. My tensions. Oh yeah, okay, you got me on. This is the one I was talking about, right? But this is, you're asking me this as in it's my opinion, but you're asking me, okay, this is my justification, right? If truth is relative, then nothing is straightforwardly true. Everything is true for someone. That's what I was considering, right? What to know the Holocaust? Okay. If you believe there are no objective truths, you have to say that there is no straight answer to the question. True. But like that's what I said, that is that like people individually, people can disagree. Unfortunately, it is your right to disagree. In some sense, right? I don't know, whatever, this terminology. We're getting into deep and dark waters here, right? But that doesn't mean that, like, if you're giving me a true or false, right? I guess you're asking me this, you asked me this question, and I guess all the questions in a sense of generally true or false. Like, as the statement itself, is it true or false? But like, if you're gonna give me this in a like I said in the beginning of this, like you're gonna give degrees of the answer of the question, like later anyway. This is like infinitesimally looping towards 100% true in terms of the, if you couldn't consider the global belief in it, right? There's only a few people who are like crazy enough to not believe it. But this is like a statement of like, it doesn't matter what people believe. This is like a logic and reasoning sort of question. But anyway. I will not have another go to find tensions that I didn't. It's laborious. Okay, I mean this one, like, obviously, right? Everything is necessary, but necessity is just a term of like leniency, right? That's what I meant. And also, I'm not like, practically speaking, I'm not gonna, if something's 10-minute drive and a 100-minute bus. I'm taking the car. Let's be for real. Also, you need to take the car if you want to put a lot of stuff in the back of the car, etc. So on and so forth. Okay, well, you're giving me a suggestion. I'll click on the suggestion. We're gonna keep going here. I may split this into 2 sections, just so we maybe have some logical separations. But who knows? Some interesting stuff right here, though. Okay, you are the owner of a snooker club. I used to play a bit of it. Not like in a cultured way, like very, very, very little. Okay. I'm short of red balls, but there's an evil genius. We'll figure it out. Is this it's a fucking probability test? I don't want to do maths, man. I did so much maths already in my life. I'm not doing the maths one. I'm leveling with you. Not because I couldn't do this, because I don't want to. I don't want to rev up the engine of my brain. Morality. 19 different moral scenarios. Here we go. We'll end with this one, I think. Sure. 19 moral scenarios, make a judgment, and then we'll reveal our moral framework. We're not judging whether it's correct or not. You should do the same, but you and I probably won't. We all have our things. What you think is the morally right thing to do, not the same as what you would actually do. Okay. Have I done this one before? Oh no, I have done this one before. Okay, well I'm not gonna do it again. I'm not gonna redo it just for the sake of the test. I've done that before. Would you eat your cat? No. Unless I'm in literally the worst possible situation I could imagine. What's this? Oh no, we did this one as well. I did this one. Here we go. The aim is to tell you how you view it, but where is it difficult? Okay, whatever. Not whatever. I mean, whatever as in I understand. Not whatever. You should also try and understand. Difficult to explain why something is disgusting, but things that are disgusting in like things that you don't reason with yourself as why things are disgusting, but they are disgusting to you, and you're trying to help figure out like what's in the core of these things that we hold true without thinking about it. Maybe something like this. Yes or no choices. Preliminary questions. I think I've done this one before, but these I think are, I don't know. I'll do these anyway. Okay. Small girl's playing on a swing. Adult pushes her off into dirt for no reason other than he's at a bad day. Well, I would say, yeah, that's pretty bad. Is it possible for an action to be morally wrong solely because people find the idea of it a bit disgusting? Just a bit. If lots of people find the idea of eating porridge disgusting, could it be morally wrong for just this reason? No. Can an action be morally wrong if the only person harmed by it is the person undertaking the action? For example, smoking. If you respond no, it will also be assumed you don't think an action can be morally wrong if nobody at all is harmed by it. Technically, for the purpose of the you should assume that every action that aims at doing harm actually causes harm. Okay. Basically, if you're trying to do it or there's a chance of doing it, assume that it is done. If it is true that nobody except the smoker sound, which is not true if you're doing it in public, or if you're doing it and you're responsible for other people, perhaps, or you could give counter examples, right? If it's genuinely true that the only person harmed by it is yourself, my instinct says no. I think there's lots of things that you could harm yourself by doing, bang your head against a wall, Is it morally wrong to bang your head against the wall? That's a tough one. On the one hand, I think can it be? Yes. It didn't say are all, so I'm gonna say can it be? Yes. Does it come from God or some other source independent of nature? This independent of what I think it does come from. Okay, I think neither are true. There doesn't need to be much wrong with these responses. Okay, we survived the preliminary questions without looking stupid, apparently. Here we go. Let's dig deep. A son's promise. Present you with 3 scenarios, answer 2 questions about each. Not asking you to make moral judgments, but whether any harm occurred and whether it makes you feel uncomfortable or disgusted. Bothered. Okay. Carl's mother was very ill. On her deathbed, she asked him to promise he would visit her grave at least once a week. Carl didn't want to disappoint his mother, so he promised that he would, but after his mother died, he didn't give his promise. Fair enough. Was anybody harmed by the fact that Carl, and he's never felt guilty? Well, then nobody was harmed. Would it have bothered you or made you feel uncomfortable if you knew to have what? This is an interesting one. To have watched Carl promising his mother that he'd visit her grave at least once a week if you knew perfectly well that he wouldn't keep his promise. First of all, once a week is an unreasonable promise. So I would say no, because it's an unreasonable promise. If he made a reasonable promise, then you knew that he wasn't going to keep it. Like, then I would be like a bit bothered, maybe. But like, nobody suffers from this, and once a week is not like possible. You're gonna move somewhere at some point or whatever. Like once a week. Sorry, my family. Sorry, but once a week is just unreasonable. Obviously. Okay. Betty Slocum's cat was killed in a tragic accident with a lawnmower, so she ate the cat and has suffered no harm. Would it bother me? Yes, it would bother me. Having a pet cat, it would bother me. Okay? Has anybody been harmed? It was a tragic accident, so nobody has been harmed, but it would bother me. Which I guess is a logical it would bother me. It would disgust me, even if nobody was harmed. It's like the guy on Reddit that ate their own foot meat because they lost their foot in a tragic accident, and the doctor was like, "You can have it," and he was like, "Can I eat it and have it in a taco?" And he ate it. I think. Would it disgust me? Yes, but that doesn't mean that like it's immoral. I guess whatever. We'll discuss this when the conclusion show up, but it would definitely disgust me. I can tell you that much. Oh, we go. Here, I was waiting until they would bring up incest. That's like the morality, like 101 is incest. Robert and Mary are brother and sister. One night while on vacation, they fucked. They enjoyed it. She can't get pregnant. They wouldn't have it again, but it was their own happy secret. This is like, has anybody been harmed? They don't seem to be harmed. Would it bother me or disgust me if a sibling? I would say yes, on average. you would have to give me a very specific example, which it wouldn't happen. That seems pretty obvious to me. Okay, we're in the minority of being unbothered about the promise, but everything else we're in the majority. That seems fair. But that's because of the context. Here we go. Redux of the mother's promise. Paul's mother was very ill, and then the promise, so he promised? Was Carl morally wrong not to keep the promise he made? No. I mean, you made it in an emotionally charged moment. When reality strikes, you're not going to visit that shit every week. You're going to be busy. Dare I say it? Was she morally wrong to eat her cat? She didn't kill her cat. She just ate the cat. I would say no. Now, this is the interesting one. Can I say need more info? Because nothing happened, but it's obviously incest and like instinctually disgusting. This is tricky. And it seems interesting. It seems crazy to say that it's tricky, but I think it may be difficult. Hmm. I'm gonna say yes. I don't know what I was gonna say after that. Here we go. I'm an Australian non-religious guy, as has been assumed before. What does this mean? Okay. Well, you only asked me 3 scenarios or whatever, so this is, I mean, the statistics is pretty like black and white. Okay. Here we go. Consequentialist reasoning. I see. It's with your view that there was no harm associated with dishonesty. Moreover, you responded it wouldn't bother you. Okay. Here we go. My responses stack well together here. Even though you think there's no moral wrong, you claimed it would bother me. Yeah. Okay, I'm a consistent person. This is pleasing to know that I'm a normal person, I guess. Not normal, but consistent. Consistency is more important, maybe. Okay. Get it on. Thanks. It isn't entirely clear why you believe it was wrong if no harm occurred. Moral prohibition, which applies if no harm flows. However, there is this slight worry that what's really going on here is that you find the idea repugnant and you're translating it into a moral flame. It would be churlish to suggest that it is this rather than a principled stance. I guess that's saying we don't know whether the path you took to get to this answer was just that I don't like the idea versus I have constructed a moral framework in which this idea is like makes sense. There's a lot of reading here. I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to read it out loud. This is not an ebook stream. In other words, okay. Yeah, read the interesting part. Things that are obvious is pretty obvious to give good reasonings for. Things that are harmless but violate norms, I guess. Yeah, okay. Most common is to say that there's harm, but you said them as in the sense that there's no harm occurred. People don't like them, so they invent a reason why they don't like them. Yeah, that's true. That does happen. We base on emotional stuff, then it's yeah, okay. Okay, we'll look at the drowning child. We've been on this for a while, but I'm interested in continuing, to be honest with you. It's fun to talk about it on stream because if you do it and you're just thinking inside instead of out loud, thinking out loud is a lot more fun. Here we go. Famine. What is it? If you're a moral nihilist, this activity probably isn't for you. Oh, I don't think I am. Okay, treat each variation on its own terms. Here we go. Interesting stuff. Drowning children, etc. Your route to work takes you past a pond. Child is in the water. I'm tall and strong. This is definitely a hypothetical scenario. You can easily... in this situation, I do, yes. No one gives a shit if you're late to work. Try and rescue the child. Come on. That seems obvious. Assume there are other people who would equally be able to rescue the child but are not doing so. That would... Just because they're not doing it doesn't mean that I should also not be doing it. That's kind of irrelevant. Okay. Now let's modify it. not take the previous ones out of your brain though. That's what they want you to do. Okay. You know you're not going to come to any harm, but you can't be sure if your efforts will make any difference. That's how I guess it works. If you don't intervene, it's possible someone else will do. And it's possible that you can't succeed even if you try. I would say yes, if there's no harm coming to you. If there's no downside, but there's no guarantee of an upside, then yeah, it's still there. Okay. So happens that you cycle to work and you know that your shit's gonna get stolen. It's a battered old bike, then I don't give a serious fuck if I can easily replace it. It makes I would say it makes extremely tiny amount of difference, aka no difference. Okay. Not the first time a child is drowning. What the fuck would it matter? Listen to this, like every one child saved per month. What is the that shit makes no sense, man. Okay. I'm imagining someone who says no to that is like, whoa, I've passed my allotment of child saving for the month. We're good. Okay. It's possible you're not aware, drowning is the second leading cause of kids dying in this age group. What would the statistic, this stat have to do with? What? I understand the statement. I don't understand the question. The fact that the question is being asked. I'm trying to envision a situation where someone would change their minds here. If you would change your mind here, if saving this child's life doesn't solve the statistical problem of drowning, which is, I guess, true. Kids aren't drowning because they're not being saved. I guess unless it's like a zoning issue or it's like whatever, right? This is stupid, I think. Thank you. I guess that they're giving you a few like stupid tests or like insane person tests, maybe. Okay. If the kid was far away in another country, but equally easy to save and no great cost, and similarly in danger. You're flipping the thing on its head at the final moment. This is basically, I see what you're doing, but I'm not going to answer in the sense that I see what you're doing, right? Because that would kind of break the logic, right? Is that like obviously a lot of us are in positions of relative wealth to a lot of other countries and could, at no significant cost to oneself, save children's lives, right? By paying money or doing some other, I guess, deed. Now, my instinct is telling me that it would make a difference. But this is not prominently in your life. This is like passively somewhere, not immediately informed to you, right? And I guess it's part of like the question, right? Is if someone if someone trips over in front of you, you're obliged to help them up, maybe. Let's assume that that's the case, but you're not obliged to like solve the if it's even if it's easy for you, you're not obliged to solve the problem of people tripping over everywhere, I would say. But it's kind of close. I'm wondering. But I didn't mean in the country. I just meant like if you in like an awareness sense. Like if you're, we'll get into it. No, which falls in the same way. In your own terms, you're weakly obliged. This is contrary to your claim that you're not somewhat. They're telling me to donate to a charity, man. Anyway, yeah, true. In the literal definitions of the words being spoken here, it is true. Yes, translated into a moral judgment situation. Okay, here we go. It's giving you a pushback variation. Reasons to justify not giving the charity. I like that. Other people aren't helping. That's true in some sense. It doesn't stop it. I guess it didn't stop me from in the questions. It didn't stop me from like being there. But that's true. In real life, I would probably not help if there were other people there. That doesn't mean I'm not obliged to help, but I probably wouldn't. If we're being honest. But like this is the if there's no chance that anybody like it's the tricky part, right? If there's no chance anybody else could help, like if I walk past a kid drowning in a lake, there's nobody around, the kid will just drown in the lake. But that doesn't. I'm not unique. I guess that's what this point is. I'm not uniquely positioned relative to the rest of the world. But I'm not saying just because other people are not doing it means that I don't have to do it. I guess maybe I am saying that, huh? That's interesting. Let me think about this. Yeah, but this doesn't follow to me. Just because people will steal my bike if I save the child, but the child still gets saved. The point is that the it'd be like if someone came in and prevented me from saving the child in the first place. If for the sake of the argument. Yeah, okay. I mean, I see what they're doing on this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. uh, this is they're giving us some funny objections. Which one? Tag yourself, I guess. If people do still do tag yourself. Let's see. Right. I don't donate because I don't even want to say this. I got flagged by some like ancient AI designed to prevent people from saying long words like this, man. I don't donate because I'm a non-cognitive. I don't even know what it means. Non-cognitivist crypto anarchist virtue ethicist. The test failed to just. Oh, it's like a joke. I see. I thought that was. It makes sense. Okay. Yes, true. Hmm. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay. Hmm. Are there any? Is there any other ones? While I'm in the mood, while I'm in the talking mood. I mean, I think that was an interesting one, but it is designed to sort of confront you and make you think. Okay, we got a bit of a game here. Maybe we end with this one before we play games. Some bizarre, maybe. Maybe we don't even play the bizarre. Who knows? Everything is to stay alive. There are 3 rounds. At each round, you bring the scenario and also 2 choices. Depending on what you choose, you die or don't die. Decide, make it on, take it on face value, and base it on nothing more than the desire to stay alive. Let's see. The teletransporter. Mission. You have been chosen to a mission to Mars. You have no choice. That's Elon Musk stepped up his game. Jesus Christ, he's kidnapping people sending them to Mars, allegedly. Teletransportation. Step on a scanner that will destroy your brain and record the exact state. Okay. Other method of transport is space travel. 50% chance that you will die in transit. So he is the, but the thing is, you're not, the way the wording of the statement belies what may be the truth of what's going on here. It's basically saying 50% chance you die in space travel, or do you opt to guarantee the creation of another version of yourself functionally identically? They, but the thing is, their life, my essentially a clone of myself that will continue to lead my life, right? Ah, I see, I see. Which one? I will. There's 100% chance that I will die if I take the teletransporter. In my sense, in my belief, at least, right? Even if there's a chance of me dying with the spacecraft, if I use this like delete and reconstruct machine, the teletransporter, I will never be alive again. The version of me that's on the other side is like a new me. They've got my memories, but what am I? That's a difficult question. I don't believe that, like if I was still alive and this sort of technology would happen, I would not do either of them. But I would take my chance with my spacecraft, because from my perspective, not that's perspective, I feel like it's the inevitable question. Would you wake up in the replicated version of yourself's body? I don't think you would. You wouldn't wake up. It would wake up. I just don't think that would be me. It would be me in every sense other than the fact that it's me. Okay, we're in Mars. 2 viruses exist. Ah, I see. This is a clever little scenario. What are you sort of situation? Okay. One destroys body parts, but you can be given artificial parts. One destroys. One rewrites the brain. Okay, so it's saying you're already going to be made up of artificial parts, not your brain. But will you let the virus, the second virus, rewrite your brain basically, or preserve your brain? I would take the silicon. Even the virus changes me, that's not me. The silicon preserves me, that's still me. Both of them, I think, in some sense, remove you. But the silicon is like it's like reheated leftovers. It's the same food, but it's not. It could never be the same as if you had it for the first time ordering it in the restaurant. But the virus recreating you, that's like you recook it into a new dish. It's not the same dish anymore, the way I see it. And a few years later, they put me back into myself, I guess. Reincarnation occurs, soul exists. Take it as it appears on face value. On death, it leaves the body and enters a newborn body. And no memory, a very small push in character. Our souls die if stored at below freezing point for longer than a week. This is funny. I am very ill. Scientists have almost found a cure. They developed a technique to deep freeze humans, enabling them to be revived later. How old am I? Is I think the actual question here. I mean, here's the thing, right? So basically, they're saying, assuming that some immaterial soul exists, would you take a 30% chance of being frozen and guarantee that your soul dies? But the thing is, you die anyway. If your soul gets reincarnated in a different body, that's not you, that's the soul. But it's like, I guess it's the same thing as like if you're having this argument, like what is your PC? You take the CPU out, you get a new CPU, and is it the same PC? You ship of Theseusing this, right? At what point is it a different PC? And I would say it's a vibes based thing. You know it when you see it. It's not one specific thing, maybe. You might say, like, you can argue each specific thing being new or not new. But I think you just know it when the vibes see it. I think the vibes for me tell me, freeze me. Okay, what does this tell me about me? Taken an unnecessary risk, but I survived. Bodily continuity, psychological continuity, and then an immaterial continuity. My choices are consistent with psychological reductionism. That seems correct. Yeah. Am I the one continuing to think? That's, I guess, maybe what that means. Okay. Why do you risk the spacecraft? Okay. In allowing your brain to be synthetic, you accept psychological continuity is important. But that's the thing. I don't think. But it's like a snap in psycho. It's not my. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because I think that's. It's like How do I word this? How do I think about this? It would be like if the way I understood the example is that the me that leaves, that gets disintegrated on Earth, stops thinking. The creation of me starts thinking, but there's a gap, an inexplicable gap in which I cease to exist in all forms forever, and a new me, functionally identical, comes into existence. I think if you super Theseus me, as long as some part of me remains physically, then I'm still there. But if you're teleporting, if you're deleting me and reconstructing me, that's not the same thing as like unplugging, like taking things out and putting something else in. I think there's a difference there. But that's just my feeling. We did this one already. What's reports? We may as well finish these, or at least do a bit more. I'm kind of in the mood. I might marker it at some point, but don't worry about it. Let me see the ones I've done. You're being tortured in the morning. Mad scientist. Okay, what? Each time I'm told something, indicate whether I find it reassuring. Everything is true. And you should... Okay. You're only interested in how you feel about the prospect of being tortured. Cast aside wider humanitarian worries or moral worries about torture. Like don't like deep it to simplify. Treat it cumulative. Okay. When the time comes to torture you, he'll ensure okay, only say reassured if you're significantly less fearful about the prospect. This is you're like framing this so specifically. This has to be some sort of twist of how what this defines about me. But we'll let it run. When the time comes to torture you, you'll have no memory of having been told in advance. It'll be a surprise. I'm not reassured. Okay. You won't be able to remember anything. Why would I be reassured about that? I want to remember that I exist. No. Why would I be reassured by the fact that I wake up as someone else? That would be the opposite. That would be very non-reassuring. Okay. Why would that reassure me? The fact that the thoughts of someone else is alive, that's crazy. Yes, thank you. New scenario, but I have control. Let's just take it on. I didn't expect this, to put it lightly, but I guess that's the point. Two people are about to undergo an odd experience. Person A's thoughts and memories will be extracted and wiped clean, and so they're being swapped. I am the original person A. Okay, so who am I? My brain? Okay. I am now in body person B. If I'm avoiding the torture, I should not torture the me that suffers. if these are the only two options in front of me, right? I'm trying to think. Because I'm not going to feel the torture. I'm in someone else's body. That doesn't mean it doesn't suck, but like, it's the option. Showing signs of identity confusion syndrome. Okay, there's a complex and involved objection. We'll speed it up and read it. I'm a fast reader, but maybe not a fast verbal reader, announcer. Okay. I responded to reward the me in the new brain. It's important that B is now me because it has my thoughts. Correct. Okay. That's fair, but I would still I would feel the torture as it happened. No? Just because I don't remember it. Or what? I'm aware that there's tension, but things like the uncertain transition. Okay, here we go. The purpose of clarity, the terminology of scenario 2. So person A in scenario 1. I see. Body person B is who I am after the swap. Person A is the one I was. And I am, I guess. They're not identical. It's true. They're not identical. Yeah, that's the shit I'm saying. Where did I go? Yeah. Even though I'll be given a new set of thoughts, I'm not going anywhere. It makes no difference. If you think you become. Okay, here we go. Let's think about this. If in scenario 1 your thoughts implanted is the final act, that is after person B's thoughts are implanted. There's no change in your old self. They were not you. A body person is implantation. That's not what I'm. My concern is where am I? That's my main concern. That's why I'm not reassured. Okay, sure. Oh, wait. Does it mean that you're gonna be swapped before the torture? In which case I would be fully reassured. I thought it meant after. I might need to redo this. I mean, it would be sentimental, but let me try this again and reread this. Okay, the torture is a surprise. No. at the moment of torture, you won't be able to remember anything. No. Ah, I see, I see, I see, I see. The I is the tricky part in this. I understand it now. I think. Okay, I don't think I understood it after all. I think the point is that as soon as another person's memories come into you, you should not be afraid of the prospect of being tortured because it's not you being tortured anymore. But I would say I'm still scared. It's still my body. Even if I'm not in it, I would still not like it to be tortured. Now, the biggest part about it is probably the feeling of being tortured. I would say that's probably the number one thing, but Anyway. Okay, a quick test. Let's do a quick test. Self-contained entity. Quick test. Epidemic kills 600 people. Program A, 400 people. Program B, 1/3 nobody, 2/3 600. You pick program A. I mean, the EV is the same, right? 1/3 times 0, 2/3 times 600 equals 400. But the risk is that it could be higher, so we pick program A. Okay. Epidemic that kills exactly 600 people is coming up. Save 200. Say I pick the guarantee every time, man. Yeah, exactly. Risk averse. There we go. That's true. Okay. And the envelope on the visuals are down. Carefully read them. Aim and accurate. Okay, baseline moral intuitions. Here we go. On checking your mail once morning, UNICEF sent through an appeal form. That's UNICEF is the what does it stand for? I used to learn this shit. The UN International Children's Emergency Fund. Yeah. They're chilling. I don't know. Let's not get in trouble. Comfortably correctly. Unless I send them $200, then children will die. Did you behave badly? I would say no. I am not particularly rich. But despite this, you spent a lot of money getting a PhD, and you've got a thesis defense. Today is your day. Today is the Viva Voce or whatever. I understand. Okay. your car is very modest. They're being careful about it. Man is wounded. He was a medical student for 2 full years, thrown out for cheating, but might lose his leg. Cut himself on rusty barbed wire. Okay. If you aid the trespasser by driving him to the hospital, you miss your exam, $5,000 lost, and a few months lost. You find out that he lived, but he lost his leg. Did you behave badly? Is a strange term. I would say no. The question isn't should you have done it. The question did you behave badly by not doing it. If the question what should you have done now, I don't know. I'm trying to imagine myself in this situation. Frankly speaking, I wouldn't have stopped in the first place to hear the story out. Avoiding the situation in which I have to make a decision by making the decision before the problem becomes more complicated, maybe. Mm, I mean, the throwing out for shitty butts irrelevant. I guess they're including it to be like moral failure in the person or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm deeping it too much. I would say no. But it's kind of close. You're not rich, but you spent a lot of money on your very nice car that you restored, not bought outright, like a whatever. Okay, same situation, but the guy with his leg and the reason you refused is implied to be because of the price of upholstery. I guess it's what do, what do you consider valuable? The upholstery is ruined. Well, it doesn't cost you time in this case, it just costs you money. So I would say yes. I don't know what that means for me, but I would say yes. If it's literally just upholstery, you can probably get that guy to pay for it. But I don't think you're gonna get your cancellation fee paid for. But I don't know. I'm not basing that off of much logic and reason. Okay, new scenarios. Not being hugely rich for 1/15th of a share in a bungalow in Haiti. I would say no. I would say no. I mean, just because it's a UNICEF contribution asking you to do it then and there, that doesn't. I would say that doesn't mean that not making the contribution means you're bad. In that sense, the question was not in general, which I guess might be a different question. Okay, I'm driving my vintage Mercedes from the US to Bolivia, where I live. Apparently, no, I live in the US. Couldn't do this. I don't live in either. An injured Bolivian one-time medical student. I would say so. This time, instead of at a crossroads, it's a CB radio. Who's on the CB radio? I still think these are all bad. Okay, in this one, I would say yes for sure. It's the same as before. The only difference is you got 3 other people putting you in an awkward situation. I would say yeah. I'm just not a. For some, I think if the problem comes to you versus if the problem is ambiently out there, it feels different to me. And maybe that's just a logical like failing in my brain. Is where I'm at. Puzzling. Well, that's nice of you. What do you mean? What's the puzzle? It is because your response to envelope and sedan were divergent in the puzzling way. What's the puzzling way? Okay, further analyze me. Yeah, proximity, directness, impact. Yeah, okay. Does physical distance make a difference? Well, I'm just an envelope non-believer, maybe. By that. Assuming we're not Bolivians is funny. Okay. I'm my reasoning, my responses continue to make this puzzle be in place, man. It's not okay, so it's not informative directness either, like the radio, and it's not the potential saviors. Is there a anything that makes my behavior make sense, or have I just confuddled everything here? Okay, I think I've got one more in me. I'll have to split this into 2 for sure. Yeah, because I'll play the bizarre after this, but I probably won't stream it, to be honest. It how it makes no sense now that I think about it. But anyway. So we're doing a lot of yapping. I need to my AC on the temperature. Cook me. 25? Jesus Christ. Who the fuck sets an air conditioner at 25? Insane people. My house. Anyway, here we go. Let's lock in. Energy, focus, power. 3 separate judgments about whether we bring something wrong with a friend activity under circumstances. Assume it's entirely legal, even if you're not of the age of your jurisdiction. I think there should be no problem. I'm sufficiently aged to do whatever activities. No good reason that not participating is a disastrous consequence. Joint activities that are neither wholly trivial nor vastly dangerous. So just like something reasonable. Okay, here we go. Keen to participate in a marathon alcoholic drinking session. Okay, you feel uneasy because they've previously said they don't want to do it, and whenever in the past they've done it, they regret it. Does the fact that you have at least some reason to believe that they'll regret it mean that you would be doing something wrong if you went along with that? So, to repeat the question, does the fact that you have at least some reason, perhaps a good reason, to believe that the person will come to regret a particular activity mean that you would be doing something wrong with it? I would say so. They might be being peer pressured into it. If you know they won't like it, you don't need it. If you're going along with it, there's a small part of it that's on you, maybe not all of it. Okay. The apostrophes are busted, by the way. It's okay, though. Okay, variation. Same session, same friend. This time, you have no reason to believe they'll regret it. Although it's possible. You're surprised, but it's out of character. You have no reason to suppose their invitation marks a shift in character. Which means that in this case, I would say no. There's a difference between someone, like in the first scenario, the vibes I got was that like they're doing it even though they know and you both know, but they just feel like, you know, that's the only way you can connect. In this scenario, yeah, I would say no. Okay, everything identical except someone they're on a substance. I remember why they don't want to do it. Yes, the substance matters. Obviously. Moral worldview. Oh no. Immanuel Kant. That's not the C word, although I guess I can say it of the Australian past. You must always act in such a way that we treat humanity never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. Or to put another way, very simply, wrong for you to treat another by merely as a mechanism to get you. Probably true. Is that a view? Would it necessarily be to treat a person solely as a means to an end? I would say yes. You gotta give him a little bit of humanity. Even if you're both means to ending each other, there has to be some soul in the middle of it all. Oh, a little bit of let's see. Maximizing happiness. Here we go. Utilitarianism. Indicate whether you agree or disagree. To take your uncertainty into account later. The morality of an action is determined whether comparable to other available actions, it maximizes the sum total of happiness of all the people affected by it. I don't think that's true. We're not just happiness maxing. Sometimes maybe. Okay, another statement. People should be free to make their own decision what is or isn't good for them. The idea of protecting a person from their own choices is at best patronizing and at worst disrespectful. These are two. I don't think these things are connected, and I think this is like a coin flip statement. The first part is true. The second part is not true. I think that you should be free, but I also think that the idea of protecting person from their own choices is not at best patronizing. The consentometer. Yo! This looks interesting. Am I good or bad? Seems good. Lower is better. I'm on 0. We're safe. Okay. You're predicting me to be 88%. I mean, I would be happy to be at 100% for the consentometer. If the average is 100%, don't take me below the average, please. Oh, man. Streaming this is gonna get me kicked off the platform if I don't get 100%. This is terrifying now. Anyway. Here we go. The more we're sensitive to the particular issues, the more the analysis will make sense. Okay. Let's see. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. Okay. You've had many feelings for a particular friend for a long time, but it's never become sexual, etc. They would probably hate themselves if it ended up happening. You are very surprised when they proposition it. Yeah, just if they've enjoyed a night out, they're trying. No, you can't do that. Like, come on. There are two differences. You have no reason to suppose that they'll come to regret it and that they've been drinking. They can, okay. If they had not been drinking, they wouldn't have propositioned you. Yes, you cannot. Obviously, thank you. This is, what do you mean? I'm saying this is obvious answers, man. It's like they're setting it up in such an obvious way. They're not even giving you like maybe. They're just like, if they didn't do this and they wouldn't have asked you, then no, man, no, no alcohol. But there's a bad breakup. It's probably to blot out that pain. It's out of character. Okay, this is interesting. Here we go. Personally, it's out of character, and they won't regret it. Well, okay, then seems like a, handshake on that one. But it's lowered my consentometer. But whatever. Sure, it's consistent, if anything. Maybe their AI prediction was correct. As long as I'm higher than the average, I think we're safe, okay? Everything is the same, except it's not a bad breakup, but it's loneliness. No. Basically, what I'm gauging from this is basically what they're saying is just looking for the one time, and I would say that seems fine. Two consenting adults just being like, I'm a bit lonely. Let's try something. Bro, I feel like I'm being scammed about this. I guess what they're trying to say is that I guess it's like the enthusiasm or something. I'm being consistent. It's thank you. I am above average. We're safe. We're safe. I'm not trying to 100% max. I'm just being honest. Okay, here we go. More likely the average to think that it will be ruled out on moral grounds. Yeah, well, definitely for like alcohol and other substances. That's obvious. It's lower than the overall average score. Yeah, okay. My principles are consistent. You don't want to abandon your principles. Okay, true. Analysis to this interesting reads. At least. Okay. Early on, you endorsed the canteen. Okay, I see. But in then saying in the latter options, it's okay. It's a means to. Yeah, but I think you're like oversimplifying sex. This is my read. If that's what's going on, but let's see. Okay. It raises the possibility that it would be wrong to go ahead if it's radically out of character. Well, depends on why, right? Not because of intoxication, consistent. That the moral trap you avoid is this. I mean, I understand the moral trap, obviously. Surely you also understand, keen viewers. Things are not quite so clear cut. This isn't an easy question. It's a familiar thought of vulnerability. Yeah, that's true. But like you said that they wouldn't regret it in the thing. That it just wouldn't happen again. That's different. Yeah, I mean, it said in the thing that you should take your thing into. I said like it. You should just leave a little bit of leeway, and I think this gives a little bit of leeway. You're still friends, right? Here we go. The first thing to know for you to do, we didn't endorse the happiness maxing, etc. But we did. We're not utilitarian maxing or whatever, from my understanding. We rejected the principle of autonomy, but the significance is that it requires a broadly libertarian approach. Oh no. I don't even know why I'm saying on, but I've just seen this word be a bit cursed online. That's all I know about it. I don't really have those in Australia. I know that there is the Libertarian Party in Australia. They're not very useful, I don't think. They don't do anything. It's just like annoying, maybe. Well, it's an exceptional circumstance. Yeah. Isn't this the same thing that I just did? Yes. Okay, cool. I'm kind of on a roll now. The AC kind of gave me a bit of a cool chill. We're so close to finishing all of these. Should you kill? Okay, let's not read all of these out loud. This is got to be like a speed run and getting your YouTube videos flagged for terminology. Okay, it's basically trolley problems. I think I may have done this already. If I've already done it, I'll probably skip out on it just because it's a bit boring to rehash things sometimes. I did this in like a month ago. If it was like a year ago, I would do it again. Torture always morally wrong. As a matter of principle, always. Always is very rough. Most corresponds. I would say yes. No, we already said that we're not happiness maxing. Always wrong to cause another person's death if this outcome is avoidable. Always and everywhere? No, I don't think so. There's probably you could construct circumstances. If you can save innocent people without reducing happiness and without putting your own life at risk, that doesn't. I don't think if A then B works in this scenario. Okay, this is the classic trolley questions. Okay, 5 people on the track. Do you redirect it? I say redirect it. And this is like you are on the steps of utilitarianism. I would not. This is like a moral thing, right? In this case, I would argue the lever is different to pushing the guy. that's my perspective. These have been rehashed many times, right? Mm, ah. If it's a guarantee that that's the guy. I mean, there's a lot of assumptions here, but if you remove assumptions, here we go. Bomb. Fat man ticking bomb. You made the most complicated trolley problem question imaginable. It's got steps. Okay. Okay. The brake saboteur is now in police custody and is hidden in nuke. It will kill 1 million people in 24 hours. And torturing him may reveal the bomb. You cannot trick him into doing it. The only way to 75% chance to torture the guy. Hmm. But yeah, I mean, I said that like it would have to be a niche, and they gave me the niche. I mean, that's what this is for. I understand that that's what we're kind of doing here, but I'm slightly consistent. Thank you. Check out the next page. Is it because he's fat? What's this analysis? Yeah, I mean that's true. The implication is that the size is how the trolley is stopped. Also, I guess there must be some like because he is. I guess. Fair enough. Fair enough. I understand. We may as well finish them all, at least the ones I haven't done already, and then we can put it to bed once and for all. Can your beliefs about religion make it across an intellectual battleground? This would be fun. I'm not trying to be a debate bro here, but okay, religion and rational consistency in beliefs. I've been pretty good at being consistent in my beliefs. I think I've not been 100% like in other categories, but I think I strive, if anything, I strive to be consistent, at least to try and be able to explain myself. I almost click some cursed Twitter audio. That's for later. Anyway, let's start. I am in good health. Oh no, I'm gonna die. God exists. I'm gonna say don't know. There's nothing contradictory about the very idea of it. True. God, without God, there's no morality. I would say no. And the answer is that it is right to call God. It must be free to do anything. I would say no. I'd say no. Must have the power to do anything. I would say no. Mm, no injury so far. Is it justified to base one's belief about the external world on a firm inner conviction, even in the absence of any independent evidence for the truth of this conviction? Yeah, I would say so. Torturing innocent people is morally wrong. Seems true. If despite years of trying, no strong evidence is irrational to believe, yeah, in such a way for some higher purpose, that seems irrelevant to me. If God exists, she can make it so that everything that was considered sinful becomes morally acceptable, and everything is false is what I would say. How did I survive all of these? It is foolish to believe in God without. I would say no. As long as there are no compelling evidence, atheism to show that God does not exist, I would say no. The serial killer had a firm inner conviction that I'd say no. No, I've taken slight damage. Oh no, I've taken a direct hit. Earlier you said that even in the absence of independent evidence, it is justified based on belief. Okay. Yeah, okay. But from his perspective, I meant. You asked me from my perspective. No. I would say true. Here we go. I took slight damage, but I lived. And I would explain my contradiction. Okay. One contradiction. I think that's just a nomenclature. If the question said are they justified internally, I would say yeah. Doesn't mean we have to agree, right? Okay, let's round this off. We're close to the end of this website, kind of. Okay, we are talking to God in the Abrahamic tradition. Okay. If you're making me choose, I'm saying no. Okay. Logical possibility. Yes. Here we go. Is he sovereign? If you're making me choose, I would say no, no, yes. So no absolute authority, no omnipotence. That's what I would, if you're making me choose, that's what I believe. Freedom of will, yeah, like the rest of us, which I guess is its own problem. Question: does God intervene in the world? No, no. Or rather, yeah, but like exactly. But if you ask me to answer the question, then like, of course. Can God will it? I want to say no. I'm an edgy. Well, I don't see that I'm there. I don't believe that. Let's put it that way. There are morals and independent. Yeah, 100%. That's what I would say. What does this? What did this mean? Tensions. Okay. Since you do not believe that they exist, this is an archetypal construction. Well, yeah. So basically, this is all meaningless. But if God is capable, I do accept that God is capable of immorality. Yes, that is within my vision of God that I don't have a vision of. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, basically true. I'm not if any of my construction, which makes sense coming from Indian backgrounds, right? You're not gonna associate it with the Abrahamic tradition anyway. I think that's fair. That one wasn't as interesting. It was kind of weird, in fact. I guess maybe it makes more sense for the Christians. Maybe I wouldn't know. Oh God, there are four cards. Simple rule, and all you gotta do is work out which cards you need to see the rules been broken. Logical reasoning. They're gonna call me stupid. I see it. Question 1. You're a QC technician. You know every color's shape on one side, color on the other side. So you must produce cards with a circle that have a circle on one side, then it has a color yellow on the other side. So we need to turn these two over. We need to turn everything over actually, except this one. If it doesn't have a circle on this side, we don't care what the other side is. If it has a circle, then we care about ensuring yellow is on the other side. We actually need to flip this one over. Actually, we don't, because it could be a square and then have yellow. But this needs to be a circle, and this needs to be yellow. I mean, wait, this needs to not be a circle. I think. I'm doing this quickly. Okay. If S on one side and 3 on the other side, we need to check for a 3, or we need to check for an S. That's the same thing. Am I crazy? Okay. Wait, she does this one and this one, right? Well, no. Yeah, okay. When you check the age of this person, when you check this person is not drinking something they can't drink. Which one did I get wrong? Oh, wait. Why turn over the number 7? Oh. Oh, because it's on the other side. So you know that the S is already there. Okay, I'm stupid. My bad. My bad, bro. I've exposed myself. This is what happens if you do 2 hours of these. You lose your logic. Okay. Hopefully my brain is still intact. Should you... Did I not... I did this one already, yeah. Guess your cache didn't check it. This is a really similar trolley problem situation. Yeah? It's turning it. You're in the trolley, I guess, is the difference, right? There we go. This is the like organ replacement one, no? I would say no. This is like the... Yeah, exactly. Killing is worse than letting die. Maybe that's like some logic basis for it. Does reflection on the moral difference between killing and letting die explain the judgment that it is morally permissible to turn the trolley but not to kill the backpacker? I would say so. At least it's part of it. It's more yes than no. Maybe. This time I'm strolling by. I would say so. Well, yeah. You know what? You're right. No, but it's different. Okay, maybe I don't know why it's different. The Kantian. Okay. Well, it's also the emergency. Maybe that's not even relevant. Maybe it's not even relevant. It's wrong to treat a person's soul for his organs. I don't think that's what's relevant. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to click the diagram. I'm going to imagine it in my head. You're going to avoid killing the 5. Spur onto here to divert the train. Loops back onto the main track. Means it's inevitable. They've reconstructed the Fat Man problem. Isn't it the same problem? That one wasn't as interesting. That was probably very similar, I think. Only a few left. We might as well speed through them all. Newcomb's paradox. Bro, what is this quote? That's an insane quotation. It's crazy. Anyway, I actually don't know what Newcomb's paradox is, so this would be interesting. Yeah, box A has 10k, box B has million or nothing. Box B's money is if she predicts you will take home both boxes, no money will be. Hmm. Okay, well, here we go. I still don't actually understand this question. Okay, maybe I do have to click this. Then shouldn't I only. What do you mean? 100% chance. Why would. What do you mean? Is this paradox must be something incredible because I'm losing. There's no solution. Okay. You must only take box speed. That's what I was thinking. The clairvoyant is accurate. Okay. However, if you take box speed, then it turns the box speed. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. What do you mean? By the time you make your choice, the clairvoyant will remain. That means it makes no difference whether you take one or two. What? There's no solution? Yeah, it's such a paradox. It literally has a 50-50 split on everything. That makes absolutely no sense. Okay. We don't want to say too much, but it's okay. Well, then I won't read it then. Okay. They don't want to spoil the reason they're asking the questions. That makes sense. You awaken after drunken night out. Hear the fatal. We have the things. Thing. Okay, I see. Oh, I see. That's yes. Okay. I say what. This is probably true. Don't I don't think I've heard of this. Mortality has to be like this, no? Because that's my guess. Okay, choose the one that is. Make your choice. What gives human life value? I guess they describe them because it's too complicated of a question. Hmm. I would say this potential for personal. That one makes sense too. No contradiction, but maybe a bit out of kilter. Seems correct. You live in a house that tends to get very warm. You choose to live in a traveling heat with your windows will be running on, so every now and then you outside your house you get a bunch of people seeds. That's crazy. What a concept. If the people who goes in has trouble with you, it will turn you covered over pretty much. Okay, I see. No, I would say they do not. Okay, what you ought to do, not a rights question. Bill and Ben are brothers. Bill has chocolates. Okay, it's an ought to question, not a. Okay, I see. Hmm. I mean, it's not a person yet, so whatever. Okay, well, I mean, that's consistent, I think. Hmm. It's one of these two. Let me think about it. I would say so. I see no objections. Internal consistency. I see. As we continue to be internally consistent, I mean, that's pleasing. Coherent and well thought out. I see. That's why it raises a small contradiction. That's fair. I understand. Four left. This one. Well, they say it's short. Okay, here we go. Morally permissible. Have I done this one before? Uh, okay. Does an assessment of whether some act is morally worse than another act settle the question of what it is morally permissible for an agent to do? You don't know whether you spin or you're going to get caught out. Okay. Given to be only two acts where X is worse than Y. No. Because just because one thing is relatively worse doesn't mean that it passes your bar, right? Mm, I mean, yes, a little bit. I think I have done a similar one before. Oh, is this is the same? No. This doesn't change the. Yeah, I think they. This one, they didn't cook. This one. At risk from attention. What does that mean? The only reason there is no contradiction between your claims is because I denied that. Okay. You only ordered a contradiction here because it seems you think that you're not always permitted to do that, which is morally better. That's what I said. Seems correct to me. You know what? Oh, now this is something else, man. The Monty Hall problem. I remember this. I've heard about this. Okay. It makes no difference. Remember, I've elected not to switch. Okay. I mean, this shouldn't this pan out in the stats? I'm just gonna keep choosing door 2. The developer of this website made this a long time. Are they really gonna make me do this 10 times before it gives you the next like reasoning behind it? Or is it scripted? It may be scripted. Yeah, it's scripted. I think so, at least. Oh, I'm being cooked by the switching strategy until no, and I'm inevitably cooked. Okay. You should always switch. The key to this is the fact that if you switch, the only circumstance in which you don't win the cards if you originally picked it up behind. I see. Ah, because you're okay. It's a probability thing. Your initial 1 in 3. So if you so this okay, I understand. I understand. So it's bad if you switching is if you always switch. Your initial 1 in 3 is bad, but then the other 2 in 3 is always good. So you have a 2 in 3 chance of winning. If you don't switch, then you have a 1 in 3 chance of winning because it's independent. I understand. Two left. Oh, I'm not doing the math, man. I'm good. Logical reasoning. What do you mean? Oh, okay. They're like judging us or whatever. Bro, pro-choice, anti-nuclear. Oh, no, not anti-nuclear. Hmm. This seems like four. Let's say, this is a strange order. More likely that four than two. However, it's not possible. Oh yeah, but I'm considering it separately now. Or am I misunderstanding the basis? Am I like being wrong by doubling down here? Well, no, this is only under the assumption that, like, oh, that's true because it under the umbrella it includes whether both yes and no. Okay, never mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're correct. This is they got me. They got me. They caught me. Okay, I think that's good enough for a guy like me. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.